Welcome to the first edition of Riga United's Team Talk. I'm joined here with Riga United's Assistant Manager Justin Wally. Thank you for joining us today. So the first game of Riga United's 2014 season out of the way. So what are your thoughts on your first game against Steitzler Berbury?
So yeah, Steitzler was, I think it was pretty much how we expected it to be. We know they're a very, very good side. They're a physical side, physical but fair, I'd say. And we knew we were going into that game with 17 players unavailable. So a team that beat us 6-0 away last season was always going to be difficult to beat. But early on, I think we were unfortunate not to steal a couple of goals. I think we played most of the football early on. Edgar has hit the post, he's hit the inside of the post, it's rolled along the line, and we all thought it was in, and it's just rolled into the keeper's hands. So that was disappointing. And then they've hit us just before half time. We lost our shape for 2 or 3 minutes, and they scored. A bit fortunate, it's come back off the crossbar and it's fallen straight to their centre forward. But second half, I think their experience showed a little bit. We didn't create the chances as we had done in the first half, and I think some of the players looked a little bit tired to me. But I think we definitely deserved something. I think we were very, very unfortunate. We've probably created 6 good chances over the course of the game, and yeah, 1-0 defeat. It's not a disaster, and I think we've gained a lot of respect from Steitzler from that performance. Yeah.
So there were some injuries before the first game of the season. Is there any further news on the injuries of Riga United players?
Yeah, injured players. Well, we've had some very bad news on that front this week. Josu, who you know was voted the Supporters Player of the Year last year, our leading goal scorer. He's not played pre-season. He has trained, but he's been feeling a lot of pain, and he's been to the doctors a couple of times, and he's discovered that he won't be able to play again this season. In fact, he's probably going to have an operation. So looks like Josu's out for, could be 12 months. So our thoughts are with Josu. Football's so important to him, so being with the team. So I feel gutted for him, and I hope that he can get over the operation and come back and be stronger than ever. Other injuries, Arta's obviously had his horrific double injury pre-season. He's starting to mend. He's now he's coaching the youngsters again. He's not properly training yet, but he's on the mend. Vlad Janevski, he's still injured, unfortunately. No sign of him returning yet. Sergei has returned. In fact, he's playing this evening, I believe. He'll probably be starting. So it's great to have Sergei back. And then not an injury, but sadly we'll be losing Robin Janssen as of tonight, because he'll be playing his last game. He's moving to Turkey at the weekend. So although Robin will return from time to time, he might be able to play for us a couple of times. He's a pilot after all. So, but unfortunately, we'll be saying farewell to Robin tonight, and he'll be wearing the captain's armband. Yeah.
Well, Riga United, they meant a lot of me, of course. I started here about 4 years ago, and the first nice memory I have from Riga United is our first League 2 game. It was here in a home game in Riga, like 200 people sitting there, and we scored the first goal of the competition, and yeah, everyone was happy and cheering. It was a really good atmosphere, so that will be the memory I will always carry with me. And this will be my last game for Riga United. I will really miss the whole team, because we're a multicultural team, and the team really makes you feel at home in Riga, because it's always difficult to adapt in a new country, and if you find a club like this, then it's perfect to adapt. Yeah. So I definitely miss everything here, but yeah, it's been a great experience, so yeah, good.
So tonight we've got a friendly against FK Urenergy. What are your thoughts on the game?
We know they're a very strong side. They're a good League Two team. To be honest, they're one of those teams I think that probably could have gone up to League One if they had the resources to do it. They're going to be really, really tough for us, but I think you look at Steitzler, they're probably a Steitzler kind of team. So they're tough. These are the kind of teams we need to be beating in the future to really take the club forward. So no point making any predictions with the game. It's a friendly match and we want to try out a lot of different things tonight. We'll be starting a couple of people who wouldn't necessarily start if this was a league match. But we're looking forward to it. We've got a small squad tonight. We've only got 4 or 5 subs, so most of the guys will be playing 60 minutes. So I think it'll be a good test. It's a good evening for it. So should be a good test for the boys, actually, see how they're developing.
Almost the first week of the new season out of the way. Do you have any objectives or any hopes for this season?
Well, objectives for this season, I think we've talked before, Richard, and we said last year we looked at League Two. We didn't want to disgrace ourselves. You know, we were concerned that if things went really wrong, we'd get a hammering every week. We certainly had a couple of hammerings, but we managed to really earn a lot of respect for ourselves, I think, last year. And we finished eighth in the league out of 10. And Jeffrey and I pre-season had set realistically, eighth place was our target. So we were very, very happy with that. Looking at this season, we've got a much improved squad. Pre-season, we looked really good. We won five out of six matches. Scored a lot of goals. We didn't concede at one point for 5 hours. So we know we've got a good squad. We went into the Steitzler game, as we discussed earlier. 17 guys still haven't got their registration. I think if we have our best 11 or best 15 available, we can beat any team in the league. And I even think we're capable of having a good cup run if things go right for us with that. So objectives-wise, I want us to challenge. I still think Steitzler might have a little bit too much for us, but personally speaking, I think I'd like us to push for the league. Away from the first team, we want the academy to grow. We already got under 15s, under 12s, under 10s, under 8s. We might have another team soon as well. We're starting to play in national competition. So we want to see the academy grow. I think objectives, we've got other objectives we could talk about. An evening like tonight, if this was a league game, we'd like to see a good crowd down here. We want people to come down and watch Riga United because there's a good atmosphere. It's more than just a football match. You're going to meet lots of people from the international community. A bit of match day entertainment. Had intended to have a match day programme for tonight, which I think we'd be the only club at this level kind of doing that kind of stuff. So those kinds of things really. Lots of positives, taking the club further forward. And stuff like this really, and also letting people know what's going on with the club. Yeah, thanks for you for coming down and taking the time to do the interview.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So that's the end of the first edition. See you next time.